Hot ice, boys, hot ice. This just in. NHL will restart with a 2014 playoff tournament for the Stanley Cup. Let's see what they're saying here. Pierre LeBrun. Sources indicate the return to play committee has talked throughout the weekend. NHL making progress on a 2014 format. Sources also stressing there's still work to be done, but clearly the weekend has produced some traction. More links expected, more talks expected over the next day or two. Okay, it looks like we're talking about a 2014 playoff. Jay, what are you thinking? Are we getting any? We don't have any specifics of training time, wheels back. Jay, what do you think?
I don't know, but it seems like a little too much chit chat still. Nothing's really focused in on what's going on. They're just telling us what we want to hear. I want answers. Like, dude, when are we starting? What's going on?
He needs the answers. We need the answers. This is what, and you know what, and Jay nailed it. This is all hearsay. Even these guys don't know what's going on. The mayors, the governors. Can we just get some puck? Can we get the boys on the ice? Do they got to wear masks? Are they going to wear masks under the visors, Jesse, so they don't cough? Marchand definitely cannot lick people no more. Jay, if Marchand's out there licking people, Jesus Christ, we got the Marchand COVID-19. The whole fucking league's going down, Jay. We can't have him doing it. The fights, are guys going to be afraid to punch each other? Are we going to be face washing? What are we looking at? What type of boys are they going to be, like, not even digging in corners? Like, nah, go on ahead. You've got the puck. I don't want to touch you. What do we expect? I don't know what's going on, but it looks like obviously everyone's working towards something. Gary Bettman, but Gary's got to walk with the government. I'm sure the government, as we know, plays a role in anything that we do. So, if they're still saying, we got to have the social distance, I understand safety's first, but we need the ice, boys. We need to see the boys on the ice.
This is the Men Behind the Mitts podcast. Hosted by Big J. And now, here's your favorite Buttes.
What is up? We made it. Episode 52. Bro. Episode 52. Cheers, bud. Cheers. Ting, ting, ting. Little chin, chin. Wow. Episode 52. We are officially 1 year in. Congratulations to you, number one. Congratulations. What an accomplishment.
Thank you. Congratulations to you as well. Been there every step of the way.
Man.
Yeah, it's quick. Like
right?
I'm like already like ready to like keep going. Like I'm ready.
Yeah.
Year 3, year 4, obviously, but you gotta walk before you run, and we're grinding and learning, right?
Grinding and learning.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
This kind of person,
we've learned so much. I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful for this podcast. We're going to dive. We got so much to dive in and talk about. I know I'm going to get ahead of myself, but wow, man, just to think, I just talked about this the other day, just to think you sent me a text. I was sitting on top of a cooling tower, drinking a bottle of water, and I get a text message, and it's been everything since that day, man. How crazy is that? You sent me a text saying, hey, check out this brand. And it was the Silky Mitts hockey club website. Sent me, and I was like, bro, I got to cop a couple of these shirts, because it was so much different than everything that we have been used to seeing as far as, like hockey and stuff like that. So you got like the best, and we love to do honest reactions on here. Like, we save stuff just for this pod. But my honest reaction, I was like, bro, I'm trying to cop a shirt like right now. Like today, you're like, hey, thanks, man. It's my company. I made it. I was like what? Like, dude, Congratulations to you. I'm telling you, I'm so serious, so happy for you and for you, finding, having the idea not only for the brand, but the idea for the podcast, bro. Like that was 100% the gatekeeper right there, man. You put it out there, you put yourself out there. In return, you made me put myself out there, and I thank you for it. I think we're both better for it. We're better people because of that stuff. Like, you know what I mean? It's definitely changed my life and how I look at things, and it's definitely changed my life.
Yeah. Wow. So much was said there.
Yeah, that was off. That was all. That's off the cuff, man. That's just full true feelings. I have not rehearsed this.
Holding back the tears over here, boys.
No, man.
No, dude. Thanks so much. Like, yeah, I will. That'll be. I'm glad you bring it up all the time because that means it's in your memory too. But it's always my memory. Like win or lose. Like, obviously businesses fail. Like it's not unrealistic. Everything happens. I don't think it's gonna happen, but it is a possibility. But like hypothetically speaking, if it failed, like that would still be a positive memory in my life. Like the first time I step out, hit my boy up. I got positive feedback, and that just grew into both of us now stepping out even further. Like the podcast, like. And the fact that, oh man, the clip that played at the beginning of this episode, like you guys know how far we've come from that. Know? So that like, it's unreal, right? Like
even what's so cool is like that when like just evolving from the intro, like having the like intro song and like how we made it, like we just threw these ideas together. And I was like, we need to have the beer popping, the goal score. Like, it's so crazy that I remember putting that all together, and we've got to start, basically after that text message and after us brainstorming, getting all of our equipment pieced together and learning even how to set up microphones on a MacBook. You know what I mean? Like even we were Googling it that day, like YouTubing together and learning like, we've got I can't remember what it's called, but remember we had to make the thing and we kept struggling to make that one thing.
Yeah.
What's the name of that stupid thing?
Don't ask me because I haven't made one since.
I was going to say, we're way beyond it. But
yeah.
I just remember like YouTubing it, like us figuring it out together. It's like, wow, like that was step one. And then like soundproofing the garage, the first studio, the garage at the Silky Minutes headquarters.
Wow.
How crazy is that?
That was wild, man. Yeah, I forget about the little things like the setting up the table and hanging the
soundproof blankets,
putting the foam.
We used
on
to
the
record
wall.
in that garage in the middle of summer. It'd be like 100 degrees outside.
Oh
no AC. We would just put
chilling,
that fan
though.
on.
We were chilling.
Yeah,
we had
bro.
shoes off.
Oh, yeah.
We were kicking back, relaxing. That was good times. And we'll get there again. We'll get there again. But like, that was dope.
That was way pre-video when we would just be shirtless because we'd be sweating so bad in the garage.
I know, and I was making it worse, hot boxing it, boy. Yeah. Oh man, yeah.
Remember,
good times.
Dude, and just to recap, like the first episode was like 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
And remember that 15 minutes took us like 2 hours to get. Like that was the longest. Man, it's so much has changed. Like we've learned so much. The podcast has grown so much on so many different levels, just with what we have guests, we are on audio, video. Like it's so incredible, man. Just how like the stepping stones of the process and how everything's happened.
Yeah. It's definitely a lot of learning curves, roller coaster, right? Highs and lows. But I mean, what's really helped, honestly, is obviously family and friends on social media, spreading the word. But has been our great interviewees, guests, our guests essentially that have come on, and not only their following, but them getting down with us makes for a better show. There's a lot. It's very transparent. Like we're not faking the funk here, and I think people pick up on that vibe very quickly, and it makes it so, like Gooby. He that message he sent the next day to us was thanks for making me feel so comfortable so quickly. And like there's others more to it, but like that's what stuck to me most is like I think that's true. Like
that's the goal.
When we got a new guy on the team, like remember when Tommy came onto the Misfits, like I was like, okay, this guy, but no matter what, like even though we played against some shit, like we still open arms, and next thing he's chilling with us pregame and everything like that.
Getting beers after, it's part of the family.
Exactly.
I like to live life like that, man. I like to have I have like friends and family, and I like to keep especially with hockey, it's such a different community, you know, especially a lot of us grew up playing together. We've all battled for each other. Especially our Misfit squad. That's a team like none other that I've ever been on. Especially in this, like just how older in life. And it's just so much fun being with these people and like meeting Rob and Damon and Tommy, like, dude, we met a guy and his son joined our team. We're like, who the hell are these guys? And now he is in my phone and I text him randomly and he's Uncle Rob. Like he is Uncle Rob.
Yep.
Like Uncle
big
Rob
supporter of Silky Mitts. Big supporter of Silky Mitts behind the mitts. So if you're listening right now, shout out to you, Uncle Rob. Like I remember, man, like all of it. I remember when he first started skating and he wasn't quite there, comfortable on his edges. And then like, you know, not to gloat, but I assisted with like just giving him tips and to see him, obviously the fact that he was committed to going to the pickups, going to this practicing, and then obviously being able to take the advice from us on the team, like, and then seeing him develop. And then he's my guy. I'm looking for him when I come out the corner from behind the net. I know he's going to be there in front battling, and he normally wins those battles. Great, so aggressive on the boards, right? Once he got comfortable with his skates, ready to go in heavy, right?
Yeah, I love it. He's a heavy player. He's a heavy player. Forecheck. I love all of it. Like he fits into, and that's what I've always loved about our team name, the Misfits, because we've always been we're the outcasts of that league. Literally every other team has to they steal and rob players and combine teams basically just to beat us. You know,
it's not like we're stacked. We're not saying this because we're stacked.
No,
like there's
not
different. There's definitely a very different fucking level of every. Like we've got guys that haven't skated that long. We've got guys that aren't roller skaters and trying to switch over to ice. You know, there's different skill levels all the way up. But yeah, you're right. We just played so well together, and our good players made our lower players play up because
absolutely.
I'm saying like they made them better. So 100%.
And we have so much fun getting together. I don't even know where we were, but talking about just the boys, man, and getting this all together. And everyone's been so supportive. And it's crazy, you know, just bringing the ideas out into the public and stuff like that. It's definitely, it's like you put yourself out there, especially with the brand and stuff, because that's like your vision, you know. And where do we pick up?
I think we can pick up on, we were talking about our guest.
Yeah. Man, that's so weird. We had a little technical difficulty, but we're back, and we were trying to figure out where we were, but it doesn't matter because we were just talking about our guests and the podcast evolving. But yeah, so we were just talking about spreading our wings and even the fact that you were saying like Gooby felt so comfortable. Like that was the whole goal of this podcast. We wanted to treat it our guests as when people come on, we're just imagine having a beer in a bar, like after a game, after a skate, like because it's funny, like this is like we always talk about, like this is no facade, like this is how I am 24/7, like this is my life, this is my attitude, like, you know, I'm a little bit more serious at work and stuff like that, but you know, as far as the goofy stories, like that's just how life goes, you know, like I don't, you know, it's fun. And I think like you were saying, like I'm happy to hear that like our guests are able to come on, fit right in, and you know, we truly make friends with like all of our guests, you know, like we message on Instagram and everyone welcomes us, you know, when we get across the border, you know, we got another place to go, like it's so awesome. And now we're not only that, but it's like we've evolved just from that to like doing business with these people as well, you know, like trying to, you know, like they're repping the brand and they're sending us stuff, like it's awesome to just to see this podcast just evolve from us starting in the garage, like our first studio, you know, shirtless and sweating. So it's just so cool to like, it's just cool to have those memories and those moments. And like, I remember like our first guest was Damon from Puck Hogs Hockey. We had no clue. And this was after you had moved. So like, even before we dive into Damon, like, yeah. So remember, like we were, when you told me that you were moving to Buffalo, we were like, I was like, is this the end? Like, what are we, you know, like, what are we doing here? And then, you know, again, we adapted, didn't miss an episode, you know, nothing. We consistent, and every episode, every once a week for a year, man, and battling through what we battled through, and you moving and just setting up camp somewhere else. And man, like, and we still made it work. We just learned how to do it this way through Zoom, and now it's awesome because that brought us pretty much to the video stage of the podcast.
Yeah. It forced us to make the leap that we wanted to do anyways. And everything happens for a reason. I'm a firm believer of that. And it's
and again,
everything's going our way still.
Yeah. And again, congratulations to you on making the move, you and the family. You know, I know you guys are
Best thing that's ever
happy.
happened to me.
Yeah, you guys are happy and you're thriving, which is so good to hear. You know, it's especially rolling dice, man. I remember I won't get too into our personal conversation, but like, you were like, I have anxiety. I was like, nah, man, like, don't even worry about it. You know, like it's all part of the plan. You know, like you hadn't been envisioning it, and we had spoke a lot of stuff, into fruition before this point, and this was something that you wanted to do anyway. For in the long term, and just to see you take the risk and not give up like that. That's the most important thing, is you just kept striving for what you wanted, because you faced some of your own challenges, with the move and personally and stuff like that. Like you definitely faced some challenges, bro.
I did. And you know about most of them.
Yeah. It's just,
but that's the great thing is, like, I've had great people in my life help teach me things, you being one of them. And I know that it's life, bro. Like, you cannot let every time it rains think your ship's gonna sink. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be rainy days. You guys gotta figure out how to make it through the rainy days.
Absolutely. That's the thing is, I remember telling you that and I said this is something I say to Laura and to other people as well. It's they only got the pictures of the nice days. You only got pictures of when you're having a blast, when you're remember that moment. And you only have pictures of that. You usually don't get pictures of when you're struggling, or you're having a bad mental health day, and you're what I mean, when you're stuck in a rut. You don't have pictures of those times. So for me, I use those a lot as lessons. And if it's a lesson, if it's a trial, whatever you believe in, I believe in multiple things. So and I always try to remember that you're always trying to, even if like you don't remember, like we said, I either win and I don't lose. I either win or I learn something. Like either way you're
L's
learning.
are lessons, not losses.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something important, because if you just see it as typical me, this would, of course it happens to me. Well, if that's the way you look at issues and problems, then things are going to keep happening. And you're not going to ever grow, because you're stuck in that rut of, oh, this is just my life.
Yeah, which is not true. You can literally change your life. You don't, like, it sounds stupid when you say this shit sometimes to people if they're not thinking the same way you are. But literally, if you hate something that's going on in your life, you could you could be done. Like, if you're unhappy, like, that works for anything, right? If you're unhappy with your job tomorrow, your life isn't gonna end if you say fuck them and just never show up, never call, nothing. Just completely erase them off the map and just be done with it. No matter how long you've been there, right? Your life's going to keep going. You're still going to need to eat. Your body's going to need to breathe. You know what I'm saying? Like, the day's going to come and then the night's going to come. So it's just, no matter what, like, you can just eliminate shit, dude. And once you realize that, it's that much easier. Like, obviously you have to think things out. Like, fuck, what am I doing here? But it's that much easier now when you're like, okay, no, I know now. This is not for me. I'm done. It's just, and then you just grow from that. It's crazy. It's like, I compare it to the gym all the time when I talk to my girl. I was like, it's just like working out. Like, you're not going to see the fucking results for a while, but you have to believe that going every day is going to pay off. And then eventually it does. And you're like, holy shit. I slowly chipped away at this. I slowly picked up a penny every day, and now I have $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I do the same thing, because like, even like another analogy with the gym, because you can go to the gym, but if you're not using, like, it's funny. It's just like how it's like you kind of coast through life. You can go to the gym, but if you're not upping your resistance on the treadmill or the elliptical, like, now you're just going through a pattern, and it's the same thing. It's just, and now I'm not trying. Like, that's why I do like lifting, because you have to force something in order to work, in order to grow. It's the definition of, you've got to move shit to grow. You know what I mean? If something's in your way, you've got to move it. And that's why, and lifting brings me all types of things, peace, energy, all types of stuff. But you can learn that simple lesson just from picking up like a dumbbell. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, this is 5 pounds heavier, but you know what? If I don't go for it, I'm never going to get to that point. You've got to break that next barrier, right? It's the same thing in everyday life. That's why I love the gym, and that's why I use the gym so much in my life. It fixes it patches, and it's my therapy, and it works out just like how hockey does, and everything's an escape. Then it reminds you, especially when you're done with something like that, these other tasks. Oh, why do I have anxiety about this task? Or, you know what I mean? All that stuff is relative, and it's
it's, I don't know, it's just the way you overcome it, man. And it's hard because not every day is easy. And I remember saying on a podcast before, like, I don't have bad days. And like, I don't know if that was out of pocket, but like, I generally try not to. And if I am having a bad day, I try to address what the problem is immediately, like I don't just let it thrive. Or like if like me and Chick have an argument, like I'm like, there's no silence. It's immediately like, all right, we got to talk about this, or, you know what I mean? Like you've got to confront those issues, or you're never going to.
Yeah. I wish I could say it was that easy for me. I definitely have bad days, but I break them down to those bad days being bad moments. And and
Yes.
that's what I work on, is when I realize it's affecting me. I sometimes I don't know it. And my chicks can be like, hey, what's going on? And I have to like take a step back and like, my bad. I'm like, talking to you in a manner because I'm thinking about something that's not even related to what we're talking about. I'm thinking about something with this, and we're talking about dinner, but I'm giving you an attitude because I'm thinking about this. And like, I have to realize that's happening. And
I do that a lot.
Focus. We're talking about dinner. Sorry, babe.
Yeah.
Yes. And so once you realize, those type of things, your bad days get a little easier because you can catch yourself. You're like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, all right, let me get back on track. Focus. Okay. Everything's good.
I do that all the time, man. Just address them. Like, why? Like Chick asked me a question, I give her a snarky answer. I'm like, that was rude. Like, I didn't mean to do that. Like, sorry, I was somewhere else. Like just shit like that. Like, it's definitely something. But all right, let's get back to these guests, man. Sorry, we just get so trailed off, which is one of the things I love about this podcast. But getting back to the original topic, making people feel comfortable, and then not only people joining our podcast, but them taking the risk on us and coming on the podcast, not knowing what exactly they're getting into. At that point, we never had video. We don't even know what these people, they don't even know what we look like other than Instagram. They don't really know if this is us or if this is like a show and it's an act, so it's just as much as we've been so blessed with great interviewees. I feel like we try to do that in return and make them feel comfortable. Like we make them feel like they were welcome, and that this isn't like an interview. This is us just hanging out and just talking and learning about what this person's life's about, so how hockey's affected them. And because that's the base of the show is, Men Behind the Mitts. It's the lives of, beer league players, all from every level of hockey. And that's what we're here for, is to learn about these people and their experiences, because everyone's got such an awesome story. It's and I love sharing that. I love sharing stories. Like, that's one of the best things, right? That's how we've always expressed things throughout human history, is through stories.
Yeah. And that's another thing, is that's one of my favorite parts, is hearing the backgrounds of these people, and everyone's faced a little bit of adversity in their life, right? And hearing how each individual has battled through it in their own unique way just makes them look more human. And then it also makes it look more realistic to handle in your situation. Like, well, he overcame this. All he did was this. Like, I can definitely overcome this, for our listeners, and I think that's awesome to be able to not only provide a little bit of entertainment, comedy, but some growth too for people. In real world situations. Like, not too many people can say, I listened to this podcast the other day and this guy said do this, and I've been doing it for 2 weeks and blah blah blah. Like,
it's weird, right?
It happens with us, and I think that just shows the depth of us, right, as individuals.
I feel like you're right. But let's jump into one of the first guests that we had on the podcast was Damon from Puck Hogs Hockey. This guy was an absolute beaut. He really set the bar high as far as interviews on this podcast. Dude, like, he comes on, we didn't know what to expect. He's basically this badass farmer, hockey player, film editor,
Alberta beauty.
Yeah, just an absolute animal who they chug beers out of boots and rip a whole fifth of Pink Whitney to the face just on the pot.
That was like our first interview ever was with Damon, and this guy's like, I'm gonna drink on the podcast, and the message, I'm like, yeah, it's fine, we drink too, and he chugs a full bottle of Pink.
I was just like, here it goes, like, this is happening. Like,
I felt so bad too, because of the simple fact that, man, that was great, and we are not that big yet, bud. This is not going to get the coverage it deserves. Like, this needs to be like world scene, because people still talk about it when they talk to me. They're like, that wasn't real. Like, that was Pink Lemonade.
Nah, we
heard him open the crack. Yeah, bro.
Yeah. And he was like, no straw. Like, he just let it rip, bro. And dude,
no cyclone, no nothing.
No, we'd like to chug out of the bottle with Whitney, but like, bro, I could not. No way face a fifth of that. No, and then he was fine. Like, just sat here and did a whole pod. I'm sure he wasn't fine, but he was definitely looked absolutely fine.
That's where the marijuana comes into play.
Yeah, no
the great equalizer.
Yeah, definitely the first.
About
Also,
to black
the first
out,
guy to
take a J to the face.
also the first guy to bring it, like to burn a J on the pod. Like he set the level so high, and I think he knew that because we were like, "Hey man, you're the first guy, on this podcast," and he was like, "I think he's going to set the bar high." Buck Hogs hockey. That's how they do things there in Alberta. It's wild.
Go big or go home. And and he's such a beauty, dude. Seriously, I can't wait to get up there. Hopefully everything goes in their favor up there in Canada. But yeah, we came back on again. We had him on twice.
Had him on a second time.
Such a great time with Damon. Shout out to him.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Damon. Shout out to Buck Hogs hockey. Always getting down, sharing, and liking the pod and stuff like that. Which brings us into one of my immediate favorite interviews. One of my favorite people to see on Instagram now is OGR. When we had Shane join us, OGR was It sucks because we lost the video.
On that
first one. Yeah, so OGR is another two-peat as well. But the first time we had him on, it was like. Again, we found a long lost Canadian brother. Like this guy, I remember I did such a deep dive on his music. Still crank his old stuff on YouTube. Like I did a deep dive, and I was like, I'm real big for music, and I had an ear, and I just picked out all of his music, and I was like, bro, like you are it. And he was like, that's exactly what I was going for, and I was like, man, like it's so good. And then from there, we got lost on that one, bro. That was a deep pod.
Yeah,
both of them.
We talked about everything on that pod.
Yeah, it was really good to
another one because it was so good just because like we had only seen him as OGR and we got to see we got to meet Shane.
Yeah.
That's what was like so cool. We got to meet Shane and the volleyball guy,
volleyball guy in Canada, right?
Yeah, never based off TikTok and everything we saw what he's putting out there.
Yeah.
Never would have guessed it, but great guy, very genuine, good heart.
And the most low-key short looking but 6'8" person I've ever seen in my life. Like I remember when he told us he was 6'8", I was like, what? You look normal. Like you look like not normal, but you look like you're just 5'10", 6 foot, like a regular human being. That he stands up and he's fucking 6'8", dude. What a wild and awesome guy. Still putting out TikTok, still putting out music. Yeah. What a great person. If you guys haven't heard of him, definitely check out his Instagram, OGR. He's where it's at, man. And that brings us into our next guest. We've got to recap, man. This is going to take a while. We might have to step on the gas here. But Chris Williams, he was recommended to us. He's basically a beer league beaut, plays on the Wheatland Warriors. We learned a lot about that hockey club and their history. And kind of how they do things over there, man. They've got some great teas working with Beer League Republic. And man, Chris was a beaut on the podcast as well, bro.
Yeah, he was. Toronto fan.
Shout
out to Chris.
Probably happy right now.
Yeah, no shit. Definitely. Yeah, hearing about they've got a team that's been together for so long and they just slowly rotate guys out and someone takes over as far as making sure the team is filled roster wise. It's pretty dope. And they dropped those fucking badass jerseys.
Yeah, bro.
Those were so hard. Yeah. Chris was a good time. I enjoyed hanging out with Chris. We were throwing fucking beers back with him. Bro.
Yeah. I think that was the most drunk I'd been on the podcast, man. We hammered beers on that one. He rides Harleys too and stuff, man. He's a cool cat, dude. Yeah. We were hammering beers, which rolls us into our next guest, who was an absolute beauty, Rick Rowley, the Canadian comedian / TikToker / just absolute beauty. And to learn again that we met the real Rick, and him sharing that swinger story and dude, what an awesome podcast that was, dude. This guy was an absolute beauty.
I served beer to Alfie and his 16-year-old son, right? So many.
Yeah, he just used to sling beers just so we could see more games. What
a fucking beauty. And then hearing his come up too through the underground stand up stages he had to hit to start growing, and then how COVID affected that and how he adapted with social media. Another great story. Shout out to Rick.
Yeah, man. Rick was a blast.
He's excited for the Toronto matchup.
Yeah, and he's still putting out great content, man. Check out him if you guys haven't seen him. Which brings us to a next one. This is someone you had formed a relationship with through Instagram early on when Silky had started, but Loaf. His handle was Tattoos by Loaf, but man, Loaf's changed. Like he's been another great story. Now he's got his own shop, his new tattoo shop, Hand and Heart Tattoos. To watch him go from working at, Big Top Tattoo and learning about his career and his come up, like wanting to work at that best shop. And then he goes on to open his own shop, man. Big shout out to Loaf and everything he's doing.
Yeah, dude, Loaf's a great guy. Brought him on as an ambassador off the jump because mad style, long hair beauty, guy can dangle. Hearing his story about Bob Prop, he's a Penguins fan. But
that lit up for us too. That pro story lit up on the YouTube.
Yeah, it got buzzing on YouTube. Yeah, there's a lot of controversy about it. 7,000 views. There's a lot of comments. Whatever.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to admit that Bob was probably an asshole sometimes when he.
He's an animal.
R.I.P. I get it, but another great story. And then he's doing big things. That's so awesome. He's so awesome to see him in his shop, and he's still banging out ink. He's puts out some great artwork.
Yeah, definitely, man. And then rolling in after him, we had Lawson McDonald from Wisconsin Superior, our first collegiate athlete, on the pod, man. What a great guy and to hear his transition story as well, to go from a D1 squad to a D3 to just enjoy hockey more, and just have a different outlook in the game and stuff like that. What a great story to hear with his transition on that, dude, giving us the breakdown, the day in the life of a collegiate athlete. What a story.
Yeah, and then shout out to him for doing the giveaway with Soaky Mitts. Great guy, and then they end up winning his senior year. He wins the championship. That's awesome. And that's what he set out to do. So a great guy with another great story of adversity, and he battled through. Had some changes. Most guys probably D1 and D3 kind of kills the pride, but him went out on top like a champion. Yeah. That's so awesome to hear. So another great epi.
Definitely, man. And then rolling into one of our next guests, definitely up there on our list, John Shavio, having Shavs on the podcast. I literally just messaged him today on Instagram talking about Mars Blades, because I'm looking at copping the R1s, but that's a story for later. But yeah, man, like just having him on here, our first professional hockey player, both ice and roller, and world champion. I mean, Team USA national champion in roller in 2019. I mean, this guy's got 2018. Such a great story, his own brand, and Shavs has talk about supporting the boys. Shavs has really put us in the right direction with some killer guests as well, man.
Oh yeah, 100%. Everything about his story was just so familiar with me, especially just because he grew up, loving the game of roller, and I was me. Yeah. I was really good. Unfortunately, the game of roller wasn't that big when I was really good, but it also then questioned that it showed that you could do both, and that's what made me question mine. I was always thinking I had to do one or the other, ice or roller.
Right.
And to see how he was successful in both, like, it just makes you reflect and frustration. Like, hey, I know I should have done it, but then to hopefully show others, young kids that are going through the same thing. I'm thinking like, oh, I got to choose one or the other. Fuck that, bro.
Nah, man, do both.
Yeah, smash both. So yeah, great guy. I wish only the best for him. And all his adventures in the future, but I hope he's killing it in his career still, right?
Yeah,
killing absolutely. It. Didn't let not making the Islanders camp show any type of a reflection on him. He's still smashing.
Yeah, still smashing just as hard. Yeah, man, just getting after it. And that's what we love to hear. And that's what the stories that we love to bring on this podcast is people like that, man, just staying after it and, going wherever the journey takes them and just working hard, at it. And to see him starting his own company there, Goodwill Hockey.
And then the hockey equipment. It gives the kids. So yeah, he's got some.
Yeah. What an amazing person. Yeah. What an amazing person. We'll have him on
a second for sure.
Oh, for sure. An amazing person. And talk about someone who loves the hockey community and gives back. It's great to have people like that. They're so important to spread the game of hockey, because it is a tough sport to get into, man. It's expensive. It's not available everywhere. So the more we can spread it, and he's a great hockey ambassador. Just a great guy putting out content, sharing his love and skill in the game. And wow, man, hats off to him as well. And big guest for coming on the podcast here as well, bud.
Yeah, hell yeah. We've had some great guests.
Keep on. And we're going to keep rolling with that, because then we had Tara, formerly known as the Glove Drop on Instagram, big Rangers fan.
I think that's twice you said formerly. No.
Formerly known as. But yeah, Tara was an absolute beaut on the pod. Great hockey stories. Geez, we talked to her that's something I meant to mention too. And it's great because a lot of these a lot of these podcasts, like they were, hour and a half. And then like we stayed on for like sometimes an hour and a half after that, just continue the conversation unrecorded, just enjoying the conversation, sharing more stories. And that's truly been the best part is, like, all right, we're signing off and then nope, we're talking for another hour and a half, sharing more stories, collabing, setting stuff up for the future. And that's what's really a lot of fun about these podcasts is there's a lot more that goes beyond just our conversation, the messaging and the talks before and after. It's really awesome. And Tara was one of them. She joined us for a couple pregame lives. She does great content herself on YouTube. She's a big Rangers fan, hockey girl, got it all going. She's on the ice now that, COVID restrictions have lifted up. So it's good to see her getting back out there, but definitely brought some killer stories in the pod.
Yeah, Tara was fun. Good time to hear her stories. How she fucked with the boys, the Rangers when they would come to the city. So yeah, I can't wait to get up and hang out with her. That's for damn sure.
Definitely. And then after that, guys, we had the boys on with Frozen 4. All four of them, man. What a great time. What a great pod that was. Breaking everything down. Big Buffalo fans. Most of those guys up there.
Stacks, Toronto fan.
Stacks is definitely happy with Toronto right now. He's, he talk about a breakdown of his favorite squad, man. It's good those are some good hockey guys up there putting out some great content as well.
Yeah, we'll have to get him on an IG live when we go to talk about Toronto.
Yeah,
that'll be a good one. But yeah, dude, great group of guys. We went on their podcast first.
Yeah, as well.
Had such a great time with them that we were like, we got to bring them on our show.
Yeah, little hockey trivia.
Did the trivia thing. We smoked that ass.
Yeah.
Well,
and low key, we were so nervous. Like, bro, I don't know.
Yeah, we were texting. No one will know, but now they will. We were texting like days ahead. Like, bro, what is this going to be about? Like, I'm nervous. Is this going to ruin our reputation? And of course, the beauties we are, we came through clutch and got them all.
Yeah, it was wild, man. Definitely good to have them on. Seeing some stuff in the future. Hopefully to see them soon. Exactly. We gotta get Stacks on there as well. Brings our next guest, one of our favorites, Gabby Gibson, from Anchorage, Alaska, another collegiate athlete.
Goalie, our first goalie.
Yeah, goalie, definitely. And keeping we were breaking barriers that month with the females, so it was great to have.
We did our first female guest.
Yeah, it was great to have
Tara
her
was
on.
our first.
Tara was, that's what I mean. Yeah, Gabby was soon after that, and then it was great to have Gabby on, sharing her story about how she won national championships on a competitive team, and she's another avid TikToker as well. It's so wild that TikTok has played such
our first in-car interview too. She was in the car jumping from rink to rink between skates. Glad she made time for us. That was a good interview. And then the highway story, all of it. Yeah, that was
the highway story, bro.
I love the little stories we get from people, man. It's so great.
Yeah, it's good. It's like we just roll with it. I kind of have we always have a basis of interview questions, but it just we rarely get to them.
Just validates the comfortability our guests have, that they just start opening up and, oh, dude, you got telling us stuff.
Yeah, man, it's definitely awesome. And then after Gabby was Anthony from Blade Tech Blades, hands down. A big game changer for this podcast, for your skating. Anthony was an absolute beauty. He just joined us on our first basically live podcast that we're going to talk about later on. But man, Anthony, talk about someone who's nothing but supportive and just constantly in communication with, and reaching out. Man, what a great guy, dude.
It's hard to pick a favorite with all these. But Anthony's up there. At least for me. Big fan of Anthony. I don't know. What can't you say about this guy and everything? He's a hockey guy. The way he's able to talk about every team, his love for Toronto obviously is there. And then that just, you can tell he's straightforward about everything with the product.
Yeah.
Like, he knows his shit. And so
New York Islanders,
when he put us on and
his gear on.
Yeah, when he put us on talking about the product knowledge of the product he helps produce, I was balled in, bro. And then the Instagram live event with him, like, seriously, this is a guy we're gonna get drunk with one day.
Yeah, they took time. We hit him up to join on the live pod, and he's like, man, I'm at the cabin with the boys, but I'm gonna make some time. And he did right there, having Teddy Bruschi's on the dock. We met his buddy Joe, big Caps fan.
We could have had all of them on. They were we could hear them talking in the background. They had their own little combo going. That's the shit we live for right there. If you had to sum our podcast up, what was happening there was just sitting around drinking beers, talking with the boys. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
That's so
It was a blast. And then, we had Michael join us.
Yes,
Michael joined
Mike.
us on the podcast.
Beauty.
Someone who he's an absolute beauty, puts out great content, works with John Shavio, and endless projects. You talk about someone who does not stop. This guy is involved with so much building rinks, indoor rinks, outdoor rinks, involved with stick drives, gear drives. I mean, this guy does
wraps.
it all.
He does his own stick wraps.
Yes.
Editor for John Schiavo, which he just learned how to start doing. My bad, I hit the mic here like a fucking noob. He just started doing that shit, and he's already, working with big names, pro athletes. So yeah, endless opportunities for that guy coming. I hope only the best for him. Mike, we're gonna have one again. Such a beauty, right? Great guy.
Absolutely. And I commented on his Instagram post the other day, man. I learned so much just watching his, he puts out these little tips and tricks and stuff like that on his Instagram page, and he's an absolute beauty, putting out great hockey content, great personal content. I'm so glad he joined us on the podcast as well and learned, like you said, his stick wraps, bro. I mean, this guy's not only wrapping you guys gotta check that one if you haven't heard it, but wrapping these sticks, personally hand delivering them, himself, driving 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours alone to deliver these sticks. I mean, it's an incredible, that just stands for the type of person that Michael is, man. Again, another great person to have as a hockey ambassador. I mean, it's great to have people like this in the community.
Yep. Completely agree with you, man. Great guy. Nothing you can't say positive about this guy.
Yeah. Again, we've been so blessed. And that brings us into the last guest of the year, which was the Goobinator.
Yeah,
Gooby from Gooby Customs. What an absolutely amazing person.
Another story of adversity.
Yeah, literally
flood and homelessness.
Yeah, losing everything. And I loved who he was and who he is because he mentioned his friends that helped him, and he shouted them out, tagged them on all Instagram. Like, I shared the story and told them how you guys helped, and what a beautiful soul, man. And just someone who gives back and wants to help everyone. And not only that, but wants to help, display people's personalities through his artwork and creations. This guy custom changes and makes hockey skates, both roller and ice, and the Duke 2.0. He's done skates for Anthony Duclair. Wow. And they're debuting, in the playoff series, and they were literally in the box next to when we recorded the podcast. I'm shipping these out hot first thing tomorrow morning. What an incredible podcast.
Yeah, that was real dope. Gooby's a plug. He's got the connection with the pro players, huh? Comes on our live event. Curtis Gabriel jumps in there. Thanks to Gooby, we got our first guy, pro player, to come peep us. No, but yeah, great things from Gooby. He's always had that touch of creativeness since he was a young kid. You heard about throughout the whole podcast and telling his story. And then his love for Ovi is just it's so awesome and genuine. He loves him for more than just the player he is, but his identity too. His style, his pizzazz. So big things from Gooby. I can't wait to see where his road goes too. Right? It's only going to keep going. He's working with Jonathan Drouin as well. Like big name guys.
He's going to be so busy. I feel like I got to get some skates to him before he just can't take anything, he's going to be so busy before you know it. But man, that wraps up the year for interviews and guests on the podcast, and
big things coming though, right?
Yeah, but more to come. More guests. But I mean, wow, what a recap of all those podcasts. Definitely left I learned something from every single one. Not only did we learn and progress, as well as learning our interview styles and how we're getting the hang of it, and talking to these guys. But man, just, I tell you, meeting these people and having them share their stories, there's been nothing like that. There's been nothing like that. And having this opportunity is awesome. I'm glad we're here. I'm so glad we're here.
Yeah, dude, me too. It's funny how I wasn't expecting to take things away from all these interviews that would affect my personal life in a positive way, things I can reflect on, or something. You know what? Blajabal was talking about this in the podcast. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's been fun. And 52 episodes, man. We started banging out these interviews. I can't wait to see how, eventually we're going to have met hundreds of people.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's going to be a lot. We're going to have a whole fucking Rolodex of people we met just from the podcast, not outside our personal life. It's wild. So, and to see how that's going to intervene, eventually COVID's going to lift up as far as the restrictions, and we're going to go meet these people in person. bright future.
And just the future for the podcast, man. I can't wait to, be back in the studio with you and we're on our grind. Like it's just going to be
get our guest in person. Like,
man,
it's going to be next level. The future. It's going to be, and it'll take some time. It's going to take time. We're walking the unbeaten path. Me more ways than one, but you know what it's like. Every day is a fucking struggle. It's a battle. You got to be on it. We bring our A game we can when we record. We're pretty authentic. We've talked about that day and day, the transparency with us. There's no fake. It's just who we are.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, rolling into let's talk about the Instagram live event, because that's the future, right? Like, we got more of those coming. That felt like a party without being at a party. Who would have thought, joke. Right?
So look, man, we talked about just setting up this Instagram live, and I was like, how much time do we need? You're like, oh, we should do 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And then we got to 2 hours, and I remember looking at the clock being like, bro, we're starting this at 5. The Caps game doesn't start till 7:15. We've got, a couple guests lined up, and I was like, how are we going to fill 2 hours? And I had anxiety about it. I was like, bro, 2 hours is a long time. That's a straight up long time with no breaks. We're live. Like, you know what I mean? Like, anything can happen. I had the dog, like Laura left for work, like right as we started. But dude, it went off without a hitch. Had a live. Anthony joined us immediately. He was having beers he was having some friends over for the start of the playoffs. They were out at the lake, man, having beers. He joined us, took time out of his day to be with us. What an incredible experience this live was. And not only did, before we do that, almost 200 viewers, like, for a live podcast. That's so awesome, dude.
Yeah, no, that's real awesome. And we're not gloating or anything, but we got a bunch of followers from it. And I think that's the best, because people got to see who we are. You know what I'm saying? Like, this, for real, dude. So this is what their podcast is like. They're sitting around just having a good time talking hockey. I like this.
The more I thought about it, I was like, that's the only way I can describe it. It's just a live podcast. It's not a stream. It's not a pregame. We did a live podcast. We had a handful of topics, talked a lot about it.
We did live Q&A.
Yeah, live Q&A, reading comments right off and throwing these questions. And that's why I love, I do enjoy hosting, man. I enjoy, kind of steering it and how things go, and then reading those questions and throwing them back at you guys. Like, it's really fun for me. I enjoy that. And I hope that comes through, where it's like, I do enjoy reading those questions, and I enjoy answering them as well, because they just want to know our opinion. We're just a bunch of goofs, having some beers and talking shit, talking about hockey. It's so much fun.
Yeah, dude. Such a blast. More to come for sure with the playoffs. We're gonna start. Now we know, 2 hour window, is easily doable. And I can't wait, because the things we'll be able to do eventually with this live thing is pretty cool. We're gonna maybe do some contests, some giveaways, maybe get some things set up with viewers. We're shooting pucks with them, different things. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be real.
Again, another lane that we fit well in. We have we have fun doing it. People, we've got our core of followers, man, which is so awesome. We've been so blessed to have these guys, and shout out to them, McFly, Shelby, Sam, and just all these Moltzy. And it's so great seeing these names pop up. It's weird when it's almost like now when I don't see the name, I'm like, man, I hope they're okay. I hope they're having a good day.
Yeah, like Ty.
Like
he crosses my mind here and there. I'm like, wonder how Ty's doing.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's not weird, but it's just cool that it's like, as much as it's like I don't cling to them, but it's like you're used to seeing these names and these comments, and when they're not there, it's like, oh, I kind of miss you. I hope everything's going well, and shoot a message, just check in. It's cool to have that sense of community and the connection just from doing pregame lives and people getting to know us.
Conspiracy alert. It's almost like we've created our own alternate reality too, right? We have this whole world of fans, followers, friends.
Yeah.
That we've never actually met.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
It's wild. It's like,
and it's crazy.
Sims.
It's one of those things where it's like, you get more support from people you've never met than people you've known your whole life.
Yeah.
And not to say that we have a lot of supporters, but it's crazy to think that these people don't know us. They found us, by accident, essentially. And thank God they did, because like I said, I look forward to seeing their names and stuff like that, because I know they're, when they're checking in, they're having a good time. That's what's important to me, and we can be that little reality escape from a bad day or something, like, oh, the boys are on talking, let's see what they're thinking about the Caps game tonight. It's just something like that, because that's all sports are for a lot of people, is an escape from their normal day to day. and for us to be on top of that and throw in our opinions in for you to hop in and like it. And it's so awesome. It's such a great opportunity for us. And I enjoy every single one, man. 20, 30 minutes, 2 hours. I enjoy them all.
Yeah. I really enjoy the Instagram live too, just because you get to interact with the people that support you.
Yeah. And I love asking, like, random people come in, they just see us and ask questions, and so much fun getting to do that, man. I love it, dude. And then it just leads, this podcast in general, I just, all the goofy stories that happen to me throughout the weekend, I just get to recap them here. That's like, you guys are going to believe it now. Like, I'm going to roll it into it because we want to talk to you about it on the live. So I had mentioned that Zoe, my dog, she stays here when Chick's here. And she's 3 years old now, just turned 3 the other day. Our little pit, our little man. So her life, her coming into my life has changed me so much. You know what I mean? It's crazy how much a dog can do that to you. But, getting this dog and the issues that we had with her, when we got her, and we accepted the issues and the problems wholeheartedly. And man, we spent a lot of time in training. And not only it's like, we trained her, but again, like, she trained us, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy how the thing, like, you're trying to condition them and they end up conditioning you, and now she's one of my favorite things to see. I love that animal, like a friggin' animal, a dog. Only, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy the love you can have for the thing. But look, so anywho, we got my yard over here at the house is fenced in. So, she gets an opportunity to run around and kind of do what she wants to do. Laura's house doesn't have a fence. So, here we still have the collar on her just in case, but she can run around. And lately, man, she has been chasing birds and squirrels like a mother, bro. Like, she sees a squirrel in the yard. She tried to go up the tree the other day, just like a couple steps. Like, it's crazy. This dog's drive is insane, right? So I've got this bush next to the house, and I seen some birds in there. They're like dive bombing into this tree. And I'm like, man, I wonder if they got a little nest in there. I'm not too sure. And Zoe had been messing around, and every time Zoe goes over there, the birds go ape shit. They start flying out of there. Well, I think Zoe got to the nest the other day and gave it a nudge. And dude, these 2 birds were like dive bombing Zoe's head. Like, they were just like diving in, plucking at her, and then getting back out of there. And like, she was like jumping up, trying to bite at him. And I was like, bro, I got to stop this. I was like, nature is crazy. I was like, nature is absolute metal. This is a pit bull and these are birds. I was like, what's happening? I felt so bad because I know that, like, if birds get like a human scent or a different scent on their nest, they abandon it. And I felt bad. There was a couple eggs that were broken. Like, I felt bad. I was like, oh God, Zoe's murderous streak is back.
No.
Yeah. So I felt really bad, but she's just a dog being a dog. Like, what do? Like, it's not nature's metal. Like, these are the things,
Tough lessons there.
Tough lessons. Maybe, and look, maybe don't build your nets in a bush.
I was saying that too. What happened to trees? Because they're safe and they're up high.
And we've got plenty of trees. We've got plenty of trees.
Maybe they need to just spread their wings.
Speaking of weird trees, have you ever seen a woodpecker up close?
No.
So, like, we have a woodpecker.
There was one on the side of my house one time. Yeah. Woke me up loud as fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, they're wild. They literally just hammer their face into a branch. Like, yeah, it's so loud. So we had a woodpecker out here in the backyard, and like Zoe, like, that was this was a couple weeks ago, and that was like Zoe's like first obsession with like birds. Like, she was just dead. I'm like, man, her sight's so good. Like, she was just deadlocked on this bird, like 30 feet up in the tree. But this thing was no. And then he was hitting the branch so hard that wood was falling down and hit my neighbor's shed. And he's got like an aluminum roof on the shed. So it was like, dun, dun, dun. So then like, she's freaking out from that. But dude, woodpeckers are wild. Like, it's crazy that's like that's their thing, a beak. And they just peck holes in the branches. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Yeah. That's nature.
That's nature. That's whole
fucking
bird's job.
Alligators are fucking weird when you think about it.
Alligators are dinosaurs, bro.
And so are snakes. Snakes are fucking the weirdest.
Snakes, crocodiles.
They're just like this long worm with a killer head. Right,
like a deadly. That's a danger worm.
Snakes are just so weird when you think, like, especially anacondas. Like, what? How did nature produce such a large thing? It's crazy because I do not fuck with snakes, but I'm obsessed with like snake documentaries. It's weird. Like, anacondas on Discovery, like, I'm watching that shit. It's great. It blows my mind they're that big.
Supposedly there's a problem with anacondas and pythons
in Florida. Yeah,
in Florida.
In the Everglades. Like, it's been bad for a long time.
Like, now it's to the point where they're just coming, like, they're getting dogs daily. Like, they're so big and stuff like that. Like they're just like, that's so, and Florida's fucking wild.
I think they're allowed to hunt them too.
Yeah, you get tags and stuff. But back to the Anaconda. You remember that movie Anaconda? Remember J-Lo was in that joint?
Yeah.
From like dude,
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube, bro. How scary was that movie? Like real talk back in the day. Because I was a child when I saw that. I had that on VHS.
Coming through the waterfall.
Yeah, bro. I had that joint on VHS. Snakes. What's your biggest thing about snakes? Mine is that they look like they're slimy and they're not.
Yeah, I think it's like they don't have legs. it just freaks me the fuck out, dog. I just picture it. I mean,
I think it's
kind of like that slimy thing. Yeah, just like, and it can just come up and then it stands up and like.
Do you remember?
You have no legs or arms, and I'm scared of you. Why?
And you go so fast. How do they go so fast?
Yeah. Weird.
But do you remember? So you remember? So look, you remember that old GIF meme Vine, whatever it is now. But the guy's got this hat on, and he's like, "I'm a snake.
Oh yeah,
I'm a slimy little snake."
I'm a snake.
Yeah. So look, you know that, right? I don't know if you were there the night that it happened, but our buddy Alex was there. This was at Green Turtle like years ago, right? And it was a Thursday night. We're getting hammered, and that was back when Turtle had the dance floor. And
the
Turtle
girl with the hand,
bro. So this chick,
I remember I was there. That was so good, dude.
So this chick, she comes up to the bar, and she's got her arm is in a cast, and it's just like this. Like she walks up, and her arm is in a cast. And she's like, "Hey, can I get a drink?" Da da da. And I'm like, "All right." I'm like, "Man, her arm looks." I hope her arm is okay, whatever. It's not what I was thinking. But like, I remember like looking back out on the dance floor, just like turning around and seeing who's out there. And her arm is up like this. And she's out there dancing. And all I see is this arm doing this in a cast. And I remember being there like, I'm a snake.
I'm a snake.
I will never, ever forget that night at Green Turtle. I'm pretty sure that's one of the nights that like, we got in a fist fight with ourselves, and they're like, "You have to leave." Like, we rode together, everything's fine. Like I'm pretty sure it was one of those nights. But man, I will never forget. I see it like it's almost like a movie. I got a movie in my brain. It's almost like I just remember seeing like the little dance. Remember like the little like 5 lights they used to have on the DJ thing where they just rotate like this, and then just that hand and hitting those lights, bro. I will never ever forget that. It's like one of my favorite memories of Turtle.
It's crazy like that used to be a part of my life. Like,
isn't it? On a
Thursday
night.
I could still go get drunk during the middle of the week. The week has no reflection on me. Every day is the same, Sunday to Friday. But that's just different lifestyles. But the fact that like just to go into the bar, you know what I'm saying, seems so wild these days now with everything that's going on, right?
I guess. I mean, I still frequent like Port. Like once a weekend.
It's not the fucking same though, bro. We were packed in like fucking sardines at the Green Turtle.
Oh yeah,
It was the worst. You're sweaty. You're rubbing into everybody. Yeah, it's. Wow.
I think about music all the time because you know me. I'm a big live show guy. Like I love seeing my favorite metal bands. Like I've definitely gotten older. Like I definitely can't do the mosh pit, the back and the neck, my back. I just can't handle it. So now I'm just like I don't mind standing in the back, or if they got like an old section up top, a little balcony area. I'll go chill in the balcony, watch a show. But I wonder how that's gonna be. Like, are people just like I don't know. Now there's no masks, so now the masks are just done, bro. Or something like that. Like
some states, not in New York yet.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy.
You're not wearing a mask. You have to wear a mask, right? When you're with work.
Yeah. I mean, if they require it, like, don't even get me, man. Mask story got me fucking heated the other day. I was out at this job site. I'm outside drinking from a water bottle. And I don't know why I just said water bottle so weird. Drinking from a water bottle, and this woman was like, "Can you put your mask on?" And I was like, "We're outside." And she was like, "Yeah, it's for our safety." And I was like, "I'm having a drink. Like, I'm getting a drink." She was like, "Can you put your mask on?" And I was like, "Is this fucking real?" And I remember looking at my helper, and I'm at work. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not having an issue at work. So I just put my mask on. And then she goes and proceeds to talk to someone without a mask on. And like, she takes her mask down. And I'm like, bro, this is an absolute power trip. Like, I just started losing my mind. I was like, these fucking, like, this is the type of person that is just misusing this. You know what I mean? I was like, I was so heated. I was like, that was such a power trip just to be like, put your mask on, you know? And then you take yours off and you're going to talk to somebody else. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I was heated. I would
have walked up and like, can you put your mask on?
Yeah, like I was heated. Yeah, I trust me. I was like, what? Like, you know me. I was mumbling under my breath. Like I think she was like 15 feet away, and I was like, look at this bullshit. Like talking to my helper, but I was like, wasn't really speaking loud enough where she could hear me, but I wanted her to know that we were talking about her by going like this. But again, I was at work, so I got to be careful. But I was so fucking mad. I was like, I just stared at her. I was like, this is fucking ridiculous, bro.
Man. That's interesting. Haven't had. I wait till the last minute. Sometimes I'm already walking through the door into the store, and then I'm putting it on. Like,
yeah.
Fuck. And people give me looks. I'm walking up to the store, no mask on, but fuck you, bro. Fresh air, man. I'm never gonna
exactly.
be
I'm
like,
outside.
Yeah,
I'm
fresh
outside.
air.
But I get it. Look, I have no problem wearing one because I know that, you know, it's required or whatever. It makes other people feel safe. I don't give a fuck. I wear the neck gaiters, so I don't wear that fucking hoop fucking bullshit around my ear.
Right.
I wear the neck gaiter, and you know, I just pull up, pull down. They don't even bother me. They're like Under Armour. They're so fucking thin. You know, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have a mass story too. It happened 2 days ago. We're outside. It's a beautiful fucking day. I'm outside playing with Cameron. We're at the park. And there's like this group of kids, like 4 kids running around playing outside, and they got masks on. And I'm just like, bro, it's so nice right now. Like just to be outside and getting fresh air and, you know, in the sunlight. Like I was like, these kids have masks on. It just blew my mind. Like you guys should be taking in the fresh air. But hey,
it sucks, man. It sucks to see
people have been led to believe that these masks are fucking, never mind. That's a different story.
Yeah. No, there's no problem. That some believe they're helpful. Some believe they're bullshit. I've seen the science behind both. I mean, it is what it is. Look, if you're comfortable, that's all that matters, right? You being comfortable. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But just don't force.
But you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to.
Your bullshit on me.
It's kind of like that. This is way off topic, but it's kind of like that gay thing. Like I don't care if you're gay, but you don't need to be up in my face being, you know.
Whoa. Yeah. No, I agree. That was creepy. Now my window's open. And it's weird because like you can see like where my street, like you can see in perfectly fine. But I like to have the window open because I enjoy looking out of it. But like at night, I can't see out, but they can see in. And I just saw like a silhouette of someone walking down the street, and I was like, just like dead nuts staring at him. I'm always afraid that someone's just like out there staring or something, you know? Oh man, big talk. Something, you know, like changes. So I bought this house, and the person who used to live here was an older gentleman. I don't know if I talked about this on the pod or not before, but he was an older guy, had some Confederate flags, you know, flying in his yard, and, you know, Confederate flags in the house. Look, you know, to each your own. I don't care. I'm not going to, that's fine. Whatever you believe in or whatever. I don't give a fuck. Okay. As long as it doesn't affect me, I don't care. but my views on that have changed. Like even since I've been in this house, because I've been experiencing a problem where I find a lot of fast food trash in my front yard. Now I don't know if this is just if it's just random when this happens. But I feel like I'm finding the trash mostly on the weekends. I've only found it once or twice during the week, but it's thrown in the yard, and I feel like it's being done on purpose. I really do, because it's always fast food. It's always Wendy's or Arby's or, you know, something that's right here, you know, near the neighborhood. And I feel like it's done on purpose for sure. And I thought about it, and I was like, I wonder if they're doing it on purpose because of the flags that used to be flown in front of this house, you know, or something like that. And I literally thought about that, and I was like, damn, I was like, I took that shit down. You know, I mean, he left them there. It was really awkward. Like when I moved in, like the flags are still flying. I was like, no, we got to figure out, before we do anything, let's figure out how to get this stuff down. You know, like I don't want that a representation of my life or people to think that that's me, because it's not, you know? Mm-hmm. And like I said, you can do it the fuck you want to do, but that's not me. I don't want people to get that depiction of me. So I took that shit down immediately. And now he's got a Caps flag up, and the Saturdays are for the boys flag, because he has a flagpole. Why not use it, right? But, you know, and my cousin acknowledged or brought it, because I told my cousin about it. And, you know, she was like, well, it is a red and blue flag. And because the Caps flag is red and blue, it says Washington Capitals, and it's a red flag with blue and white lettering. And I was like, you know, and when it's not blowing in the wind, I was like, does it look like a Confederate flag? So now I'm even debating on taking that flag down, because I'm having this trash issue.
Fuck is that? Yeah.
That's what, but
fuck
like,
that.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. So I feel like I'm just.
That's ridiculous regardless, bro. I hate motherfuckers that litter. It's the laziest fucking thing in the fucking world, dude.
Very true.
Throw your fucking trash in the trash can. Like, but
do you see my dilemma?
Like, yeah, I mean, I get it. I see where you're coming from, but I wouldn't take my fucking flag down. Like, fuck, you're a moron. That's not me. Obviously, you don't know shit. How many times you drive past this house, see the flag to enough you want to litter, but you can't see the homeowner? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different fucking person here. I don't know. That's
Yeah,
just
that's what I
common
mean.
sense in my eyes. Like, I would recognize the different flag, the different cars in the driveway. You know what I'm saying? If
That's
I
what
had
I mean.
a
Yeah.
personal vengeance against this house because I thought it was a known racist.
So maybe I'm overthinking it. You know what I mean?
think
Like
you are,
maybe,
or people are doing it because they don't care that it moved. Maybe
or they're just doing it because they want to do it. Like they're just,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like fuck him.
I don't know, but it's definitely frustrating because that's something I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of litter.
I would
Never
definitely
did
keep
that
an
as a
eye on it
child.
though, because if you can find out who it is, I would definitely start collecting it and leaving it on their fucking doorstep.
Yeah. This is why I feel like it's done on purpose. It's not like a bag and a cup. It's like everything's almost individual. Like they dump the fucking bag out, if that makes sense. Like there's the fry thing.
So it's not
the
like
burger
someone's
wrapper.
eating, throwing their trash in the bag, and they threw the bag out the window. It's
That's
like,
what I mean. I feel like it's really done.
throwing
It's really done purposely.
Yeah, that's intentional.
Like it's
right
like
there.
a fuck you. You know what I mean? Then they drive off.
Yeah,
and I'm like, damn. Then it blows around. And of course I get it. Like I'm like, I'm not gonna let the shit blow around. You know, like I don't know. It just
You're
sucks.
a better man for it though, picking up the trash. Like they would have.
Yeah, it's just a shitty
anyways.
feeling being new in the neighborhood, and if it's not being done maliciously, then maybe I'm just overthinking it. But of course, in the PC culture that we live in, that was one of the first things I thought, because of, apparently as well, this guy who owned this house was not liked in the neighborhood. Like he wasn't liked in the community. There was some other stuff I found out about it. I won't air that out. But like there's some, so I'm like, well, I hope people, but it's a new owner. Like, why? I almost want to. I told Laura the other day, I was like, I want to put a sign that says, "Hey, new owner. This isn't the person that lived here does not live here anymore. It's a new owner.
We kicked out
under new management. Under new management.
That'd be hilarious.
Like
that'd be an ultimate troll. Under new management.
Yeah.
Please stop littering.
Yeah, like it's not me, bud. Like that's a Caps flag, or you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I just feel like it's weird, and it's one of those things that I don't. It's almost uncomfortable addressing.
Fuck that, because then what if you had an American flag up? That's the same fucking color. Like that's a no.
Yeah,
leave the flag up. Fuck that.
Yeah, it's just weird. You know what I mean?
Keep an eye on it because it sounds intentional with the trash.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling.
It was all in the bag. It's maybe a coincidence, but dump it out like that. That's.
And it's at night. My ring can't pick it up. Like they don't do it during the day. Like it's at night. My ring just can't. It's just outside of my ring.
Can you ever pick up on the type of car it is?
No, it's a sedan. But like I don't want to change the settings because I get enough notifications as is on the ring. Because like before it was like dialed to the street, and then like every time a fucking car went by, I'm like, no, I can't. We got to reel this.
I'll buy some cameras. They're cheap.
Yeah, we got to reel this in.
But
that's what I mean. And that's what I mean. It's not, and I've got it. Like, look, so there's little things I understood. Like I understood when I bought this house, I was like, if my mailbox gets knocked off once or twice, I understand, because maybe Big J did some mailbox hunting when he was a kid. So look, I understood like karma that would come back around.
Were you a litterer?
No, never a litterer. So that's why I'm expecting the mailbox. That's why I haven't changed my mailbox. It's got a lean. It's got a little gangster lean to it. I was like, I don't want to change it because maybe some kid's going to knock it off. And when I do put a nice mailbox out there, they're going to hit that one. And I'm going to be really upset.
Yeah, build one of the ones with the brick.
Yeah, like dong. So look, all right. So I'll do one quick story about mailboxes because they're hilarious. Sorry, there's two stories I got to tell you. This is young. We were so stupid and young, 17, 18, 19 years old. We used to mailbox hunt from time to time, like a fucking morons we were. The degenerates we were. And this one time we were hammered, and I went to go, there was this mailbox, and I went to go kick it, right? Like I went to go drop kick it. Don't ask me why. I was drunk, 17, 18 years old, but I'll never forget it because I went to go drop kick it, and I missed the mailbox and landed in like those rocks that are like around the drains in houses. And I thought I broke all my ribs. I just landed on my side. But I remember it being I remember just having it in slow motion because I was like, and then just air it out and hit nothing, and then just land on these rocks. And I was like, oh my God, like immediate backfire.
So that's hilarious.
So that's one story I will always remember from mailbox. And this other story, man, we were asshats. We used to do this for real. Like I used to have this old truck, and we used to stand in the bed of this truck and like literally like out of a movie. We were so fucking degens. And we were coming up on this mailbox, and it was my turn to hit one, right? So I got the bat. I won't air out my buddies who were there, but I went, and it's dark, and our friends driving my truck, and I went to go hit it, right? And I hit it, and it was one of those big ass green plastic ones. The fucking bat came back twice as fast. I was like, bonk, and it came back, right? And I ended up hitting the other guy that was in the truck with us. The bag came back so fast I wasn't expecting. I was like, and he was like, oh. I like crushed his arm. I was like, oh, I was like, okay, lesson learned. Maybe don't attack plastic mailboxes. But
oh my God.
man, I will never forget that either, because the look on everyone's face with that fucking thing, it made the funniest sound because it like ate it and folded. It was like, poof. Yeah. Like
I thought this story was gonna go where you swung and missed and fell out the fucking truck, but that's even funnier. Coming back. Oh my God.
Oh my God. All right, so look, I'll tell one more story about mailboxes. I was a real fucking DJ.
There's a lot of mailbox stories, folks.
I got a lot of mailbox stories. So look, this one night we were out mailbox hunting, and my friend was driving my pickup truck because they were always like, I'll drive. I don't ever want to participate. Like they did have a guilty conscience, as did I. I was such a piece of shit, but I always got nervous about it.
So you were like, I want to do it. Someone drive my truck so I can eat some shit.
Yeah, like no joke. Such a deep,
yeah, you're an
such
asshole.
a degenerate. Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like I know the mailboxes are coming. Please don't come to my house and show a mailbox because of this. Anywho, we're smashing. So there's 3 of us. We're smashing mailboxes. God, and it was like one of those clusters where there's like 8 mailboxes on one thing. So we're like smashing these mail. God damn it. As I'm saying this shit out loud, I'm realizing how much of a piece of shit I was when I was younger. And so we're all smashing these mailboxes, and a light comes on on the house that they were all in front of, right? A light comes on. We're like, oh shit. So we all freak out, and they were running the circle like to come back to get us. And we're laying down like ninja commando style in the grass. I'll never forget this shit. And my truck was coming back around, and my buddy, I was a fat little fucker back then, and my buddy was an athlete, and he looked at me and he was like, "Hey, bud," because I'm going to run for it, and I was like, "Yeah, me too." And he's like, "I'm going to leave you behind." Like he literally just made me aware immediately. He's like, "You're going to get left. Like you're going to have to double time it." You know, like so we're running, we just take off, we run. Of course, both of them reach the truck 20 yards before I do. So they're like, hit the gas. So they weren't going to leave me, but they wanted to get like a roll and start, right? So I'm like chasing down the truck. So now I'm chasing down the truck, and I'm like, wait. And I get in that awkward stride where like you're running, and then they slam on the brakes, and I ran into the back of my truck so hard and flipped into the tailgate. And then all you hear is like does a dumb bullshit little. And I'm just in the bed like, oh, like dude, my knees got destroyed.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Fuck. Yeah, so my knees get destroyed on the bumper, my chest hits my tailgate. And I had so much momentum that I like scorpioned myself, and then and I just land in the bed on my back, and I'm like, oh, like everything was
pain.
And they're already like, like immediately. And they said, I'll never forget, they said it was so luncheon because when like the brake lights come on, it's so bright. So like they just said the last thing they saw was the lights come on. And my face was like, as I ran. Oh my God. As I ran into the truck, so just my face is lit up bright red.
Oh that's a great fucking story. Oh my God. We gotta wrap it. That's a wrap, folks.
Yeah.
That's episode 52.
Dude,
I'll never. I would. That picture in my head now is burned in.
Yeah, dude. It was one of the most.
Were the people out looking for you? Were they out of their house? So you're like, I'm gonna book it.
Oh yeah, they were like on their front porch. Like I was really concerned they got my tag number and stuff. Like,
oh my.
I was really concerned. But we were driving off, and but man, I'll never forget. Then I was like, wait, and she locked up that truck, and I just fucking. I just said she. Yeah, see, look, I'm already giving out too much information.
Oh, shit, dude.
It was her brother's sister who used to buy us alcohol, and she would drive us around. She thought it was hilarious. That's all I'm going to say. She used to buy us alcohol, and she would drive us around because she thought it was so fucking funny. like when we would do that shit.
Yeah. You're probably still friends with her?
No, not so much, but we would have friendly conversation. Like if I saw her, there would be no, like we would pick up where we left off. But yeah, crazy, right?
Wow.
Crazy stories. Let's wrap. I've given up too much. I've said too much. What an episode. I can't believe we made it to episode 52. What an adventure. I'm so glad to be a part of it and on it with you, bro. So happy.
Yeah, bro. Likewise, man. The future is bright for us. It's fun to sit down and talk hockey with my boy and share our stories with folks and like that. Like we've been friends for a while. I've never heard that. Like that's so
I've shared too much, man. This podcast does it. I love it though, because it's, I don't know, man. It's so much fun. I really do. I've done some lunch and fucking shit. And it's
good to reflect too, right? It's kind of like a little therapy, coming on here.
It makes me feel light. It makes me feel light because it's like I do feel guilty. You know me. I have a really I'm one of those people where that shit stays with me, and that's kind of how I process it. Is I'm like I take those super embarrassing moments that I hate of my life and just make fun of them. And but dude, I will. There's stuff I love to sprinkle stories in throughout. I can't give them all up too soon. But man, there's some good time. And well, it's great because we just have these conversations and they just come up. That's what's even great is it's just more activated from like, I had no plan on telling that story, but I was talking about that littering story and then my mailbox is old and busted leaning back and just led me into it. I had no plans on sharing that shit. So that makes it even better for me because like when I retell it, it makes me laugh so much harder. But yeah, man, great episode. Again, thank you and we wouldn't be here without you guys. Thank you so much for your support, your listens, your shares, your likes, your comments. We love the messages. Again, guys, we are so appreciative for you because without you, it would definitely be a lot harder. I know that's a fact.
Yeah, 100%. Constantly growing. Just hit the 41 mark with the subs on YouTube, which we just
the YouTube channel is growing, man.
Yeah, we're growing there. So we're getting there, folks, and it's all thanks to you. Just keep supporting us, and we'll keep putting out great content for you. We promise.
Yeah, we love it, guys, and don't forget to check out SilkyMintsHC.com. New drop coming soon, bro. I'm telling you, the pastel tie-dye hoodie is the talk of the town. Everyone I talk to is like, I'm copping. I can't wait for that to come through and drop, man. And then the sweat shorts and everything. I'm a real big fan. I'm wearing sweat shorts right now. Can't wait to get my hands on those. You definitely got some. You definitely got some good stuff coming out, bro.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yep, big things coming. Silky Mitts Hockey Club. We're going to continue to push the limit of hockey and fashion. Yep. Thanks for all the support, folks. Till next time.
Be well, guys.
The boys from Men Behind the Mitts just want to say thanks for listening. And as always, be sure to follow us on all your favorite social media outlets at Men Behind the Mitts. Brought to you by Silky Mitts Hockey Club. Support the boys at SilkyMittsHC.com.